PLUR1BUS was created by Vince Gilligan and has recently finished airing its first season on Apple TV. This show is set in a post-apocalyptic type world where an event happens that affects everyone in the world except for 13 people. These 13 people are, for lack of a better word, normal and not formed into this hive mind of individuals that everyone else is from results of this event. And we follow the main character, Carol, played by Ray Seahorn, who is one of these people who is still normal. One of my favorite parts about this show in this first season was that struggle and that conflict regarding whether or not this event that happens is beneficial to the world. Some of the people that were unaffected feel very strongly that it's harmful, and a lot of them, really most of them, feel like it's okay. And I just really liked how that was portrayed, the differing perspectives of this event, and how certain characters would sometimes debate, the unaffected individuals would argue about that. I feel like we could have used more of that, because when it did happen, I found it riveting. I would have liked a little bit more of it. I don't feel like there was enough of that, to be honest. The show is primarily driven by a lot of dialogue to tell its story, a lot of exchanges between Carol and other characters. Even there's actually points where she's not really talking to a lot of people. And at that point in the season, and other points too, it relies on a lot of visual storytelling too. And I think it mostly succeeds with that. There were definitely parts of the season, looking back now, maybe certain episodes, where it felt like not much was happening with Carol's character, and there wasn't much going on in her storyline to advance the plot. At times I wish there was more focus on some other characters, one in particular who's another immune individual like Carol that they go back to at times throughout the season and then focus on more when we get to the end of it. I kind of wish there was actually more about him. At certain points I found that a little more interesting. That was where we got a lot more of the visual storytelling too, was with his character. Like sometimes I just didn't feel like we were really getting anywhere with Carol. But I understand too that this is just the first season, and it does feel deliberately slow and purposefully slowly paced. And I'm fine with that. I am totally okay with that. I'm patient to wait for a payoff in a future season, however long the show will go on. But I'd be lying if I said that it didn't feel a little bit tedious at times in this season. I also just got to talk about Carol as a character a little bit more. Ray Seahorn is fantastic in this show. She does a great job. I just don't really like her character that much, though. I, in some ways, like that I don't like her character and that she is flawed and a little bit unlikable, and she's very low-tempered. And it's understandable, especially when some of the crap hits the fan early on, why she gets easily frustrated and enraged. But other times too, other decisions that she makes, it just made her not the most rootable protagonist for me. I'm being a little harsh, actually. I think I do take some of that back. I do like her character on the whole. I think she's a good character. And yeah, like I said, it's one of those things where like I'm glad that I'm frustrated with her, because I just find that so interesting, these sort of flawed, morally gray main characters. But I mean, yeah, at times it was just almost a little bit too frustrating, and it almost pushed the boundaries of respecting that frustration that I, as an audience member, have with the main character. And I was just like almost finding it hard to justify my disliking of her, if that makes any sense at all. Overall, though, I was really impressed with this season. I really do like this world a lot and the concepts that was set up. It was really shocking. I didn't know what this was about going into it. And so when everything kind of happens and kind of kicks into gear in that first episode, it was just so harrowing and just such a strong start to the season, and then the aftermath of that as well, playing out in the next couple episodes. I just thought it was a really good, really strong start with those first few episodes. And then it tapered off a little bit at times after that. The pacing wasn't super consistent, I think. But then I really did like how it all ended too. I thought it was a great final episode for the season. Yeah, I dig the world that Bates has created here and that him and his writers have fleshed out and the characters they've written. I thought this was a really good first season. I would rate this season of PLUR1BUS an 8.5 out of 10. The whole season's out now, so if you have finished it, what do you think of it? And do you have a favorite episode? My favorite episode was actually the second one, Pirate Lady, written and directed by Vince Gilligan, along with the pilot episode. It was interesting, actually, that night. I remember when those drops, Apple wasn't totally working for me. Like, at times it crashed. Did that happen for any of you guys? Because it happened for me. But yeah, anyways, I just really liked that episode, and just especially how it kind of expanded upon the shock of everything that went down in that first episode, and we were kind of like really living in this world for the first time in that one. I just thought it was a really great sophomore episode for the season. And to those who celebrate, Merry Christmas. Hope you had a great day, or hope your day is still going well. Yeah, that's all I got. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace out.